Oh my goodness. Did that just happen? Did that just happen? Did I just witness that game that we all just witnessed? Did I just see the Kings finish a game on the road against a good Cleveland Cavaliers team on a 19-0 run in the final 5 minutes or so? I mean, this game was absolutely outrageous. We're watching it. We're thinking, free throws, right? Free throws, turnovers, all the little things are going to haunt the Kings in this game. We're going to look back and we're going to say that game was winnable. Yeah, we didn't have De'Aaron Fox, but they didn't have Donovan Mitchell. That game was winnable. We had a chance. We had a chance to win that basketball game. That's how it felt like it was going to be. That's what I thought I'd be starting this show with. I thought I'd be starting this show with Nick Cattles, by the way. How you doing at Nick C Radio on the Sactown Sports Recap Show tonight, following this incredible comeback victory by the Kings, 106-95 against the Cavaliers. They improved to 14-10. I thought I'd be starting this post-game recap show talking about how the Kings missed opportunities, right? And so did you, right? You thought I'd be talking about the free throw line, the fact that the Kings shot, what was it? 20 of 32 from the free throw line. They missed 12 free throws. I thought I'd be talking about 12 missed free throws. I thought I'd be talking about, 18, 19, 20 turnovers and how you missed a golden opportunity. But we don't have to talk about that, because what we're talking about right now is the Sacramento Kings once again lighting that beam, and the fact that they are now 14-10 on the season. They are an even 6-6 on the road. They're 6-6 on the road this year. Good basketball teams, good teams in general, they win on the road. They beat good teams on the road. What an insane 19-0 run by this team at the end of this basketball game in front of a hostile away crowd, right? 19-zip. And let's start with my man, Kamikaze. Kamikaze says, that defense. Let me just say this. There's no way on God's green earth that the Kings win this game 3 weeks ago. There's just no way. And that's what's fun about this team right now. We're watching this team develop. We're watching this team mature. We're watching this team figure it out. Do you think there's any chance this team wins that game without De'Aaron Fox on the road 3 weeks ago when they're down and it looks like they're out? Can you imagine this team 3 weeks ago, a month ago, playing that type of defense in the final 5 minutes of a game? They held Cleveland under 100 points. And I know Donovan Mitchell didn't play tonight. I know Kevin Love was out, but De'Aaron Fox was out. Kevin Huerter had to leave this game for a while. Keegan Murray got into foul trouble. There's no way the Kings win this game 3 weeks ago. And that's what's fun. That's what's awesome. That's what should have everybody excited. The fact that this team is maturing, this team is developing, and this team, most importantly, is improving. Stop after stop after stop after stop in the final 5 minutes, man. And, through the first, 43 minutes of this game, the Kings were getting beat down in the paint. They were allowing Karis LeVert in the third quarter to get into the paint, either finishing at the rim or creating opportunities, for his buddies. And then all of a sudden, the final 5 minutes, I don't know what Mike Brown said to his guys before that 19-zip run, but whatever he said, it was the magical message that he sent to his team, because they went from kind of being a sieve and allowing guys in the paint to being able to contest. The Cavs were getting into the paint, but they were unable to finish. I thought Domas was excellent defending the rim. He's not your prototypical rim protector. He's much better defensively this year than he was last year. There's no doubt about that. He's still not your prototypical, stereotypical rim protector, the guy who's going to be blocking shots. I thought Domas was terrific at the rim in the final 5 minutes of this game. And I thought the guards were good with their ball pressure, right? And not allowing it to be too easy. There's just no way this team wins this game 3 weeks ago. It's absolutely insane, and it's exciting. 14-10 on the season. Earl Bonham says gave the Cavs their second home loss of the season. That's a tough place to play. That's a tough place to play when you're playing pretty well. That's an even tougher place to play when you don't have De'Aaron Fox. You turn the ball over 17, 18 times. You miss 12 free throws, and you shoot, in the second quarter, I don't know, 30%, whatever craziness there was. I mean, this is the making of the culture. When we talk about the culture of a team, I mentioned this on the show yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And I asked Coach Jordi Fernandez about the play on Wednesday when multiple guys hit the deck. You know what play I'm talking about. There was a possession where 3 or 4 Kings hit the deck, including Fox, who, isn't healthy at the moment, which is why he was out tonight. You've got 3 or 4 guys hitting the floor on a loose ball possession. I mean, that's when you start to see the winning habits. That's when you start to see the culture building. And that's precisely what you're seeing. You're seeing a good coaching staff with a talented team improve slowly but surely. Defensively, I mentioned this last week on the show as well. Cattles and Rami, 3-6 on Sactown Sports, Monday through Friday. I mentioned this last week about this defense. When you look statistically, from game 1 to where they are right now, if you took 5 game snapshots, right? If you took 5 games at a time and you looked at their defensive rating and you looked at some of these analytics, they are consistently getting better defensively every single week. And that's why they can string together 5 minutes of defense like you saw to end this game to finish that 19-0 run. And I want to ask you, because I've been here now going on a year. Matter of fact, next week will be 1 year I've been here in Sacramento, and I love and appreciate everybody that has embraced me. But I want to ask you, when's the last time you saw defense like that? Kings fans, when's the last time you saw defense like we just saw in the final 5 minutes of that game? When's the last time you saw 5 minutes of competitive, nonstop, consistent defense against some talented offensive guys? I mean, Garland is talented, right? He's an all-star. He's a talented guy. And LeVert is a talented guy. When's the last time you saw that kind of defense strung together by this team? I mean, my goodness, you talk about absolutely beautiful on the defensive end. Mike Brown is going to be doing jumping jacks and cartwheels about this win, not just because it's a win on the road. You came back and you didn't have De'Aaron Fox. Coach Brown just got 5 minutes of quality film to show his guys, hey, you don't think we can play defense? Let's watch 5 minutes of this film. Let's watch the final 5 minutes in Cleveland, and then you tell me that you can't play at a high level defensively. I mean, this is exactly what the coaching staff wants and needs for future reference. If the Kings get off to a slow start on Sunday defensively, Mike Brown's going to say, look, I've got the evidence on film. You guys can play top-notch defense. We saw it on Friday night. We saw it in the final 5 minutes of that game. I don't want any excuses. If you can play at that level on the road without De'Aaron Fox for 5 straight minutes and go on a 19-0 run, then you can play defense at a high level for 48 minutes. And that's what he's going to tell his guys. Just my opinion. Let's pop this up. We have a chance to win every night, no matter who we play. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know, you played the Bucks tough on Wednesday through 3 quarters. Giannis took over in the 4th. But you feel going into every game now that this team has a legitimate shot to win the game. They're 14-10. You know, obviously I'm no mathematician, but Sunday will be your 25th game. 25 games in, and you feel like this team is getting better. You feel like this team is improving. You feel like this team has fight. Cleveland scored 15 points in the 4th quarter. 15 points in the 4th quarter at home with a lead. 15 points in the 4th quarter. Remember, we were talking at the beginning of the year, we almost wanted to throw a parade when the Kings wouldn't give up 30 and a quarter. Tonight, they gave up 15 points in the 4th on the road. You want to talk about toughness mentally? They've got it. This team didn't quit. This team didn't give up. What we saw was a team that believed in itself, believed that no matter what, who was out, where they were, that they could come back and win that game tonight. And that is confidence. And that comes from the coaching staff. It comes from winning games like they have so far this year. It comes into, believing and trusting the teammates on the floor, believing that the guy next to you is going to make the right play at the right time to get a bucket or come up with the stop. And that's what you see with good teams. That's what you see with teams that fight and scratch and claw. They could have put their heads down tonight. They could have said, man, we missed 1,000 free throws. We got sloppy. We turned the basketball over a ton. We had a chance to win that game and we screwed up. But they didn't do that. They continued to fight. And I go back to Domas, a week or two ago, and he was asked about, hey, you guys are playing all these good teams tight, and, you got to take some solace in that. And Domas said, yeah, but we got to start winning these games. Like, we've got to learn how to win. And that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing a team that is learning how to win, and they understand what is going on. Jeremiah says the team, Cleveland, did not score in the last 4 minutes. Way to play defense. Yes, that's the story of this game. It was very similar to the Warriors game, right? When they were able to take Steph Curry out of the game and they forced the other Warriors to try to beat them, and the other Warriors couldn't. It was reminiscent of that. It was reminiscent of the final, 4 or 5 minutes of the game, being responsible, being disciplined, great rotations, incredible closeouts, making sure you're contesting every single shot, make sure that you're contesting and protecting in the paint at the rim. That's what we saw. The pickup points, the urgency, the ball pressure. That's what we saw. And it reminds me of that Warriors game in the closing minutes of that one when the Kings played some great defense, some fantastic defense. Double A, I'm just going to put this up because we're all celebrating right now about lighting the beam. Yes, light the beam indeed, my friend. Chris White answers my question. I'm just getting to some of these comments here. Keep them coming. Keep them flying. Chris White answers my question about when's the last time you saw a Kings team play defense like that for 5 straight minutes? Chris says 16 years ago. I'll take your word. Again, I go back to before the drought. I've been here going on a year. Next week, it will be my 1-year anniversary here in Sacramento at Sactown Sports. So I lean on a lot of you to tell me, what kind of defense you saw 15, 16, 20 years ago. When's the last time you saw a team that could defend at this level? I can look at a roster and tell you that this team, as I said before the season began, and if you want to catch us, it's Cattles and Rami, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, Sactown Sports. I said before the season, this team is as talented as any team the Kings have had in a decade, if not more. This team is deeper. And you saw it. You saw it tonight. Like, somehow, some way, this was a tie game, 49-49 at the half, even though your backcourt was terrible. Your backcourt was terrible. I mean, when you look at Davion Mitchell, Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter, and Delly, in the first half of this game, those 4 backcourt players combined to shoot 3 of 13 and had 8 points. 8 points. 8 points from Monk, Mitchell, and Huerter. And you were tied at the half. Why were you tied? Domas. You were tied because of Domas. That's one guy, right? He was super aggressive early tonight in that first half. He was going after Jared Allen, right? He was going after Allen in that first half. He was physically challenging Allen. So the reason why you were 49-49 at the half with no De'Aaron Fox and with those 4 guards giving you a combined 8 points, 3 of 13 shooting, you had 11 turnovers at the half, and you had missed 5 free throws. Now, I just want all of you, and thank you for spending your Friday evening with me. I am postponing my dinner, and that's getting made in the kitchen because I just absolutely love this opportunity to be with all of you and to talk about an incredible game and an incredible finish. I just want you all to absorb what I just said, right? Before the dinner stuff. You don't need to absorb the dinner stuff. I want you to absorb the fact that you didn't have De'Aaron Fox. Mitchell, Monk, Huerter, Delly shot a combined 3 of 13 for 8 points. You turned the ball over 11 times, and you shot 12 of 17 from the free throw line. and you were tied on the road 49-49. Talent and depth. Domas in that first half, he went for 12, 11, and 3. Not bad, just a double-double in the first half, which he's done, I think, 5 or 6 times this year, right? Keegan Murray, shout out to Keegan. I said this on the show, right after the weekend, the back-to-back weekend against the Clippers and the Bulls. Keegan looked like he had gained his confidence back. Keegan looked like he had figured some things out. He was attacking the basket, cutting to the basket. His shot started to actually fall, and you could see him getting more confident as time went on over the past 3-4 games. And tonight he comes out and he's just bang, 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 4 threes and scores 12 points. So that's how you're tied at the half, even though all of those things went against you. Even though all of those things went against you, you're tied because you have enough depth and talent, because you've got Domas, you've got Keegan, and you've got other guys who can chip in for this basketball team. Absolutely unbelievable. 15 points in the fourth quarter of this game is absolutely insane. Let's bring up Fong here. Fong Tran says this game is like a Rocky movie. Came out swinging, Cavs were tough, grind it back, got punched in the face. Kept our composure and won. Character is showing, and I freaking like it. You should more than freaking like it, Fong. You should freaking love it. Yes, the fact that you were able to, come out and throw a punch. Fantastic first quarter, by the way. I mean, just a tremendous first quarter. We talk about the fourth quarter. You want to talk about starting and ending a game. You gave up 20 points in the first quarter. You gave up 15 in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's how you start, and that's how you finish. They had a really good first quarter. Guys were knocking shots down. They did have 6 turnovers in the first quarter. That was rough, but they were 7 of 9 from 3. So you came out and you start with a 31-20 lead after the first quarter, and then you finish the game 19-zip. So what that tells you is if you combine the first 12 minutes of this game with the last 5 minutes of this game, I mean, you outscored the Cavaliers. What is it? Trying to figure out the math. 50? You outscored the Cavaliers 50-20. If you combine the first quarter and the final 5 minutes, you outscored Cleveland 50-20. You were plus 30 between the first quarter and the final 5 minutes. That's how you win a game. That's how you close it out on the road. That's how you somehow, some way find that way to win. That's unbelievable. TC, what's up, Nick C? What's up, TC? Them Kings are gritty. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Key Chan says, who needs dinner? I agree with you. Who needs dinner? I'm going to be starving, but loving every second of this recap show with all of you. Keegan, I think we can feel pretty comfortable now saying that Keegan has gotten through that struggle, right? He had 3 weeks to a month. He wasn't good. I called him out on it. I think it's perfectly fine to criticize players when they're not playing well, just like, we celebrate when players are playing fantastic basketball. I think we can now say, when you look back at the last, 4 games or so, Keegan has found it. Keegan has found it. He has figured some things out, and now he's playing better. And hopefully this rest will help De'Aaron Fox. Hopefully Foxy comes back feeling better. It was rather obvious on Wednesday night that he didn't have his legs. He was short on every single jump shot that he took. I think the Kings made the right move. Even if the Kings lost tonight, sitting Fox tonight was the right move. And if they have to sit him on Sunday, I think it's the right move. And I know he said, look, it can't get worse. This injury to my foot can't get worse. But my question during yesterday's show was, is it going to get better? Is the injury going to get better by trying to play through it? And maybe cooler heads should prevail. And I appreciate De'Aaron playing through it. And it's rather obvious the guy loves the game and he's competitive and he wants to be out there and he wants to win so badly for Sacramento. But at a certain point in time, coaches, the staff, the medical team, and Fox, they have to get together and they got to say, hey, look, enough is enough. You don't look healthy. You looked like you were very uncomfortable against the Bucks. Let's pump the brakes here. Let's sit you down tonight. And let's think about this season. Let's think. And I know everybody says, oh, well, they're trying to get to the playoffs and, every game matters. Yes, but, you need a healthy De'Aaron Fox to do what you hope to do this season, right? You need ultimately Fox to be available for you. So I thought it was the right move to sit Fox tonight. Win or lose, I would have said that. Even if this was a loss, I tweeted it at Nick C Radio. Again, at Nick C Radio, I tweeted, this is the right move. Give him a game or two, see how the foot feels. You're on the road trip. And what this team showed was they can win without Fox. Just like you go back to Charlotte, right? You remember Charlotte? I did that post-game recap show. You go back to Charlotte, that game. The Kings are down by 15 at the half. They lose Fox. They come back and they win that game on the road. This team is capable. This team is capable of winning games without Fox for a small stretch. I'm not saying you want him out for the rest of the season and they'll be just fine, but for a few games, you are more than capable of winning with this team. Let's look at Mike Gardetto. Mitchell off night was great on Garland. Yeah, I thought, Davion he had a tough offensive night for the most part. He hit that 1-3 in the fourth quarter when Domas found him and kicked it out. He had a little bit of a rough start to this game. I think he was 0 of 2 in the first half with 0 points. But defensively, man, there's really no doubt that Davion's going to be there for you. I mean, I don't know how anybody can doubt Davion's defensive ability. He's going to be there. He's going to show up. And he did it again tonight. And he was great on Garland. I think they said Garland was 7 of 17. Let me see how he finished. Yeah, he finished 7 of 17 from the floor. So, you did a really good job against Garland. And don't forget, the Garland run in the second quarter, he scored 11 points in a matter of 2 minutes. You take that 2.5 minutes out of Garland's game. He played 35 minutes tonight. I would say for 30 of those 35 minutes, the Kings mostly shut him down. He had that great spurt in the second quarter. Other than that, I mean, he scored 11 of his 19 points in that 2-minute span in the second quarter. Other than that, you did a fantastic job against Garland. You pretty much shut the guy down. LeVert was an issue in the third quarter, and I thought, the Kings stepped up and played much better defense, as all of us saw in the fourth quarter, especially against LeVert. They didn't make it as easy for Karras to finish at the rim, to find teammates. So just a tremendous, tremendous game tonight and finish of this game. Zombie Head Soldier says, Fox at 65% is not going to win. Better to rest. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you that you need him to be healthy. Rest him a couple of games. You're 14-10 now. And you should feel great about that, obviously. 14-10 with a difficult schedule, with this team defensively improving, step after step after the final 5 minutes of this game tonight, just being absolutely tremendous. And this was a game that was very physical, right? It was a very physical back and forth game. I thought Cleveland tried to out-physical the Kings. And we go back to Wednesday night. Y'all remember what Mike Brown said in the postgame. And we talked to Jordy Fernandez yesterday on Cattles and Rami about this. In the postgame, Mike Brown said, this was the first game this season that I feel like the other team dictated the game, dictated the pace of the game, dictated the physicality of the game. And that was Coach Brown doing what a really good coach can do. That is motivating his team. What Coach Brown did in that postgame after the Bucks loss was send a message to his team. Hey, fellas, you know why we lost that game? It wasn't because of Giannis. We lost that game because they dictated that game. They were the more physical team. They played their brand of basketball. They took us out of our game because of that physicality. We can't back down. We have to push back. We have to throw punches back. And what you saw tonight was Katie said it over and over during the game tonight, and she was right. What you saw, especially between Allen and Domas, what you saw was a very physical game. And I thought the Cavs obviously saw what happened in that Bucks game on Wednesday, and they came into this game tonight saying the Kings are a team that we should try to push around. The Kings are a team that we want to be physical and test them constantly. And I thought that the Kings did a much better job, much better job tonight in matching that physicality than they did against the Bucks. And when you go back and you look at that final 5 minutes, a lot of people talk about, the defense wasn't great. The defense wasn't great. Well, again, do you know what helps? You know what helps defense? Offense. Like when you're scoring buckets and you're able to set up your defense and get back and it doesn't become a transition game, that helps your defense, right? And so I thought offensively in the second quarter was a terrible quarter. The second quarter was awful. You scored 18 points. You gave up 29. Bad quarter. But I thought it was bad because of the offense. The offense was bad. The offense went off the rails. And so when the offense went off the rails, you're missing shots, you're taking bad shots, you're turning the ball over, and that gets Cleveland going, and that gets Garland going, and now your defense is kind of stumbling. But you got to come back and throw punches. And that's what you saw from this team in the fourth quarter, was that ability to kind of pick themselves up and say, all right, we still have a chance to win this basketball game. Let's talk about some other people. Domas, I thought he was really good tonight. Aside from the free throw line stuff, it's such a shame too, because he's been great from the line ever since he had. Maybe somebody can help me out. What game was it where Domas was like 1 of 10? Was it Orlando? I think it was Orlando, right? I think he was like 1 of 10 or something crazy against the Magic. The game that Fox won from the logo. He's been, ever since that Orlando game, which was early November, Domas has been terrific from the free throw line. And tonight he had a rough night. He was 8 of 14 from the line. But look, I thought he was excellent. He was tremendous. 18, and 6. 18 points, 18 boards, 6 assists. And some good defense too from Domas, considering what you would expect from him, right? And Allison does confirm it. Thank you, Allison, for helping me out there. It was the Orlando game where Domas was like 1 of 11 or something crazy from the free throw line. He did hit 2 big ones late, though. Let's not forget about that. So, when you look at this, I thought Domas, again, tremendous. It speaks for itself. 18, and 6 tonight. He only had 2 turnovers. He also chipped in with a couple of blocks, a couple of steals. I thought Domas was the best player on the floor from beginning to end for the Kings tonight, which he should be when Fox is out especially. Let's talk about HB. I mean, guys, HB's been really good, right? He's been really good the last couple of weeks. He's really stepped up. He's really stepped up over the past, I'd say 3-4 weeks. And he was good again tonight. 20 points. And not only did Barnes have 20 points, and thanks to MC Calcium, let's get those thumbs up, folks, please. It takes very little effort from you. But if you like what you're listening to and watching, then if you like the page, YouTube actually shows our channel to more people, which allows people to come into the community. That's how the YouTube algorithm works. So if you just quickly like what you're seeing, we would definitely appreciate it. Little effort from you means an awful lot to us during these recap shows. So if you could just hit that like button. Again, Sabonis was great. Barnes was great. The best thing about Barnes, which what I was saying, 20 points. Yes, 20 points, but just incredibly efficient. He took 9 shots from the field. He was 5 of 9 from the field. He shot 3 of 6 from three-point land. He missed a couple of free throws. He was 7 of 10 from the line. But Barnes with 20 points, that's what you're looking for, right? I mean, 20 points from Barnes when you don't have Fox. Again, that's the talent. That's the depth. That's how you win without one of your best players. Barnes steps up and scores 20. We talked about Keegan. Keegan had a good night. He had 18 points. He got out of rhythm after picking up that third foul. If there is one thing that I think Keegan should regret, it was picking up that third foul by trying to draw the charge against Mobley. Like, he's on fire. He was playing terrific. He's knocking down his threes. He was 4 for 4 to start this game from three-point land. He's got a rhythm. He's got a confidence about his game. And, you pick up that third foul. I know what he was trying to do, but the risk reward doesn't work out in your favor there. You pick up the third foul, and now you got to sit down after playing only 9 minutes. Again, Sato is going to say that, that third foul was BS. Look, Sato, again, you putting yourself in that spot, how many times do we see a charge block call that goes the other way? Charge block call is one of the most difficult calls in all of the NBA. And I think Keegan, look, next time, and Katie said this, and by the way, I do think it was a foul. I do think that I thought that was the right call. And Katie mentioned it, during the broadcast. Do a little bit better of a job of moving your feet and try to just close them off. Don't try to sell the charge. Don't try to take in that moment. You've already got two. The team needs your offense. Again, it's a minor thing. Keegan was mostly good tonight, really good. I thought they could have done a better job getting the ball to Keegan, by the way, especially in the second half. He just didn't have enough touches. I would have liked to see him get some more touches, but Keegan was good. Davion, we talked about him. Offensively, he did not have a great night. He played better in the second half offensively, but Davion defense, Davion. He was tremendous against Darius Garland in the final moments of this game, especially. Davion did the job, a fantastic job defensively. And Herter, I thought Herter, he had kind of he had a weird night, right? Even the injury. I don't know what happened there when he left the floor. The arm injury, they showed the replay 2 or 3 times. I didn't pick up on anything. Maybe you guys picked up on something. I didn't see anything that stood out to me. But Herter, he started great, but he made some big buckets. He finished with 19 points. I don't know how many people would have realized that Herter had 19 points in this game. He finished with 19 points, 7 of 15 from the floor. And I thought Herter hit some big shots. He started the run, right? The beginning of that 19-0 run. And again, thanks for joining us, Sactown Sports here. Nick Cattles with you. The beginning of that 19-0 run over the final 5 minutes, you had a Herter step back 3. You had the big Keegan 3. Herter kind of got that ball rolling along with Keegan. And then once they picked up momentum, that was like a jab. And then they followed up that jab with some haymakers. So I thought Herter played well. The best plus minus tonight, if you're wondering, if you believe in that statistic. Individually, it's a little shaky. But Keegan actually had the best plus minus. He was a plus 26. A plus 26. How about Allison? Allison is bringing it tonight. Up to 2 minutes left. Domas gets a block and a steal. Scored 4 points. Man, oh man. Whew. Harrison Barnes free throw. Keegan 3. Put us up 6. 1:22 left. And you felt like that was the end of the game in that very moment. So Trey Lyles gave you 17 minutes. It wasn't a great night for the bench. It really wasn't. I mean, well, relatively speaking, like we expect this bench to give you more points. Malik Monk had a really rough first half. I thought he bounced back a little bit in that second half, had a couple of big buckets. He finished with 9 points. He was 1 of 5 from 3. I thought a couple of those threes were ill-advised, but whatever. We know Malik, he hits tough shots. He makes tough shots. And once he gets rolling, you can't stop the guy. So it was somewhat of a slow night it was a rough night for Malik Monk, actually. When you look at it, 9 points, he had 5 turnovers. So Malik had 5 turnovers and 0 assists. So 0 assists and 5 turnovers from Malik. So again, it really makes you feel like this team, it's a tough-minded team. It is a team that is improving defensively. They can win a game like tonight when they're down on the road without De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk not playing well, missing a bunch of free throws, turning the ball over a ton. For this team, they had 21 assists. That number picked up in the fourth quarter. For the first 3.5 quarters of this game, the assist number wasn't where it usually is. So, this was one of those find a way to win games, man. And really, if you ask how they won this game, they won this game not just because of the defense in the final 5 minutes. They won this game from the 3-point line. And we know that Jay Triano, when we had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, Coach Triano said, we want to take 10 threes every quarter. We want to finish the game with 40 threes. They did not finish the game with 40 threes. They finished the game with 33 threes. But they shot 48.5% from three-point land tonight. Whew. They shot 48.5% from 3. That's how you win the game. 16 of 33 from the three-point line. And if you're wondering, Cleveland shot 33% from three, and they made 10. So there it is. There's your difference, right? How do you win a game when you turn the ball over 18, 19 times and miss 12 free throws? You're plus 18 from the three-point line. You make 16, they make 10. You're plus 18 from three. That's how you win this game. Tremendous. 106-95, 27-15 in the fourth quarter, 19-0 the run over the final 5 minutes or so. You came up with a bunch of stops. You made some big buckets. Everybody chipped in. Domas chipped in. HB chipped in. Herder chipped in. Keegan chipped in. Just a great team win, a great character building win. And now you look ahead to, what is this road trip? And I said before the road trip on the show, again, Cattles and Rami, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. Kamikaze wondering what's for dinner. What is for dinner is it's going to be that's not that one. You're a solid fan. TC shouting out somebody there. Let's go to this one. What's for dinner? What's for dinner is a nice steak bowl. Some nice Korean beef kind of steak and with some rice. So nice little steak bowl tonight for dinner. So I said before the road trip on the show, right? On the show the other day, what would be an acceptable road trip? And I said, if you go 3-3 on this 6-game road trip, you should feel good. You should feel good. You want to win one game, at least one game against one of these good teams. And then you've got to beat the teams that you need to beat. And, you got the Knicks on Sunday. That's a game you got to win. You got to go to New York, Madison Square Garden on Sunday afternoon. 3:00 is the tip. You can listen to that game, Sactown Sports. We will be here for the Sactown Sports Kings recap show. Dave is going to be hosting that one immediately following the Kings game, Kings-Knicks game. But, you got to go to New York and take care of your business now. You got to go to New York. You've got to beat the Knicks. You beat the Knicks, you're now 2-1 on the road trip. And then you've got the tough back-to-back, right? So if you beat the Kings, you beat the Kings. If you beat the Knicks, you're 2-1 on the road trip, and then you've got Philly, Toronto back-to-back. If you can find a way to just split between Philly and Toronto, you feel really good about this road trip. And if you can do that while resting De'Aaron Fox, you feel even better. I can't say enough about this basketball team. I had them winning 37 games before the season tipped off. Some people thought that I was being, too optimistic with the 37 wins. They're a third of the way to that number now. Think about that. It's crazy, right? I think my math is terrible, by the way. Yeah, my math is terrible. They're more than a third of the way to that win total. 14-10. 14-10. Improving defensively, hopefully getting ready to have De'Aaron back and healthy. But this is just absolutely fantastic stuff. This is what happens when you bring talent in. You have depth. You have a good coaching staff. You have a former two-time All-Star in Sabonis. You've got a guy who was playing before the injury at an All-Star level like De'Aaron Fox was. Malik Monk, Herder, all the names that we've talked about. This is what happens, man. This is what happens. And this team now is legit. And this team, thank you, Allison, a third of the way to 42 wins. Thank you. Yes. I was a journalism major, got a journalism degree in college, not math. So thank you. I appreciate that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. TC, look, this feels really good, TC, but I wouldn't yet start, taking a victory lap just yet. But TC said, I called in, told you and Rami, 6 seed, 45 to 48 games, in my opinion. Look, right now, you're on pace. You feel like you're at a pretty good pace with that. So fantastic win tonight, 14-10 on the season, 106-95. They beat the Cavs, a 19-0 run in the final 5 minutes or so. Domas was a stud in this game. Keegan continues his solid play of late, which is great to see. Fox sits out. You still get a W without De'Aaron Fox, which is a big-time W on the road against a good team. I think you feel really good for your Friday night. I don't know what you're doing for your Friday night, but you get to do whatever you're doing tonight with a nice big fat smile on your face. You get ready for the game on Sunday against the Knicks We appreciate every single one of you for joining us during this recap show. Again, continue to support us if you can by liking it. Sactown Sports, we do this recap show following every single game this season, including Sunday against the Knicks. Carmichael Dave will have you then. Appreciate all of you coming out. Fantastic win. Light the beam. 14-10. A tremendous, tremendous run by this team. 19 Zippo. A total team effort. And we saw that defense really step up to another level in the final 5 minutes. I'm back on Monday, 3 to 6. Sactown Sports, Cattles and Rami. Again, thanks to everybody. Have a great weekend. Be healthy and be safe.